Good afternoon, students. Yes, submit your answers. Only 8 students responded. I'm going to end the poll now. So the question is, linear cryptanalysis is dash type of attack. It is a non-plain text attack. Whereas differential cryptanalysis is a chosen plain text attack. Pair of non-plain text ciphertexts, and it uses the piling up lemma. So linear cryptanalysis uses the piling up lemma. And here ciphers are divided into two types. One is symmetric, asymmetric. Encryption will be done, encryption and decryption. So the algorithm or the procedure, so which uses both encryption and decryption, is called as a cipher. So ciphers are divided into two types. One is symmetric ciphers, the other one is the asymmetric ciphers. Yes, what is the example for symmetric cipher? Which algorithm follows the symmetric cipher technique? Give your answer in chat box. Specify any one of the algorithms of symmetric ciphers. So we have this. Give your answer in chat box. Which is the symmetric cipher algorithm? Yes, I received only one answer. So we have discussed many algorithms like symmetric encryption algorithms. Only one student responded. So the ciphers are two types, symmetric and asymmetric. In symmetric, the ciphers are again divided into two types. One is block ciphers, the other one is stream ciphers. Stream ciphers. So entire plain text will be divided into some set of blocks, and blocks will be encrypted individually or by applying some block cipher modes. So by applying some block cipher modes, data will be encrypted like cipher feedback mode, output feedback mode, electronic code book mode. So by applying those block cipher modes, so data will be encrypted in block ciphers like the algorithms which uses the block cipher techniques are DES, we discussed triple DES, AES, algorithms. So coming to the stream ciphers. So symmetric, another type is in symmetric, second type is the stream ciphers. So in stream ciphers, so how the data will be encrypted is, whatever the data is there, that will be, the entire data will be format. So it will take, so symmetric in stream ciphers, it is going to take a bit by bit conversion. So data will be encrypted a bit by bit. So instead of taking an entire block, so first it will take a plain text will be a series of binary bits like 0, 1, like this, and it will have a key. So what it is going to do is it takes the key. So it will take the bit of key and as well as the bit of plain text. So a bit by bit encryption will be performed in stream ciphers. So what it is going to do is plain text bit will be performed XOR. So majorly it performs the XOR operation. Stream cipher is nothing but simply it performs the XOR operation between plain text and the key. Plain text and the key. So whatever the result it gets, that will be the cipher text. So that is the procedure of the stream cipher. So bit by bit or byte by byte. If we consider data, so entire byte will be considered. Means stream cipher will take the entire plain text. So it will perform the XOR with the key. It does not perform any other operation except the XOR operation. Simply it performs the XOR operation with key and produces the cipher text. Suppose if the first bit is 0 in plain text and key 0, then it results 0. And the second bit is 1 in plain text and in key it is 0, the result is 1. So like that, it produces the cipher text. Then, so here in stream ciphers, so it is simply performing the bit by bit XOR operation between the plain text and key. Okay. So plain text is nothing but the transmitted, the communicated message between the sender and receiver. But the key is the secret key. Will be shared before the communication, isn't it? So key should be shared before the communication between the sender and receiver. And also, key should not, if the plain text size is increased, if plain text size is very less, then we can use the same length key because every bit is XORed with the key. Suppose if the size of the plain text is getting increased, this plain text size is large plain, if the communication, sender is sending the large plain text, then choosing a key, so where the length of the key is equals to the plain text is a trivial job. So it is sometimes impossible to choose a particular key which is of the same length of the plain text. So here, the main disadvantage in stream ciphers is key size. So how it is going to generate? So if the plain text is very large, so generating the key is what it is going to do is first sender and receiver will share the key, so of some size. So it is not, it may not equal to the plain text. Once the key is shared, so sender and receiver, what the sender is going to do is, so sender will simply take the plain text. So send the size, whatever the size of the plain text is there. Suppose if plain text size is n bits, so n bits, and key size is like m number of bits. That is, m is less than n. Then what the sender will do is, so sender will apply, will use some algorithms. Okay, so sender will use some algorithms like key scheduling algorithm and pseudo-random generator algorithm. Pseudo-random generator algorithm. So these two algorithms will be used. By using these two algorithms, so sender will generate a key stream. Okay, a key stream will be generated by using these two algorithms. So that even though the initial key is less, the size of the initial key is less than the plain text, but by using these two algorithms, it is capable of generating the key stream. Key stream means it keep on generating the bits to perform the XOR with the plain text. So if the plain text size is n, then the plain text size is equals to n, then the key stream size is also n. Okay, key stream size is also n. So then it can easily perform the XOR operation between the plain text and the key. And at the receiver side, how this stream cipher decryption will be done is, receiver will perform the will receive the cipher text, and then receiver will perform the XOR operation. Performs the XOR operation with the key stream. So whatever the key stream is generated at the sender side, so at the receiver side also, the receiver also performs the same, applies the same algorithms like a key scheduling algorithm and the pseudo-random generation algorithm. These two algorithms will be applied to generate the key stream. So the size of the key stream will be same as the ciphertext, and it performs the XOR operation with the ciphertext. Then it will get the plain text. So mainly it performs the in stream ciphers, the major operation is the XOR operation. So to ciphertext will be generated performing the plain text XOR operation with the key. And this is at the center side or encryption. So we can say that this is the encryption. Whereas at decryption side, plain text will be generated by performing the XOR with the ciphertext. XOR with the ciphertext. What is the ciphertext? Ciphertext is generated simply by performing the XOR with the plain text XOR with the key. So again, so here XOR with the key. So this XOR operation performs the XOR operation. Suppose if the key is like 1100 is the key. So if we perform XOR with the same one, so what we'll get? Simply we'll get the 0, isn't it? All are same, so same type of bits will get the results the 0 in XOR operation. So simply it will get the plain text at the receiver side. Okay, so this is the procedure of the stream ciphers. Simply, it is going to perform a bit by bit or byte by bit XOR operation with the plain text to generate the ciphertext. And at the receiver side, it performs the XOR operation with the ciphertext to generate the plain text. So, in order to perform the XOR operation, the key size should be same as the plain text or the ciphertext. But the key size, always a key will not be of same size with the plain text. So what it is going to do is simply, it uses first some key will be shared between the sender and receiver. Later, using the key pseudo-random generation algorithms to generate the key string. So by using that, it performs the XOR operation. So here, the notation. So how the stream ciphers will be performed? Like just now I explained the procedure. Plain text will be there, key will be there, and directly ciphertext will be produced by performing the XOR operation between. And decryption side, ciphertext will be there, key will be there, and it takes the XOR operation and produces the plain text. And here there is a type of stream cipher called one-time pad. So one-time pad means, so where the key stream will be, the size of the key stream is same as the size of the plain text, as long as the plain text. So if the plain text size is n bits, then key stream size is also n bits. So, but so this is the best for attacker. So it will be attacker will not able to get the plain text. So whenever we use this type of one-time pad, okay, because that will be used where the size will be same, but here the main difficulty will be key distribution. So key distribution means the key should be shared between the sender and the receiver. So if the size of the key is also large, so key distribution will be difficult. And so for every message, so there should be encryption. So we, the message size of the message will be varied. So generating a key of same size will be difficult. So here in one-time pad, it uses a bit by bit XOR operation. Bit by bit XOR operation. So, but main problem, the disadvantage with this is a key distribution is a disadvantage. So in order to overcome, we can use the stream ciphers, where again in stream ciphers also it performs the XOR operation, but the process, but a little bit different than the one-time pad. Whereas in one-time pad, the size will be same. Whereas in stream ciphers, what it is going to do is it shares a key. So before going to perform the, so first it shares a key where the size of the key is less than or is equals to the plain text size. So using this key, using this shared key, it generates key stream. It generates the key stream. So that key stream will be performed XOR operation with plain text. So that is the procedure in the stream ciphers, isn't it? So key stream is generated in pseudo-random fashion. So in pseudo-random fashion means key will be considered and it is going to generate the key string. So here, so it is called as a pseudo-random. Actually, there are two terminologies like truly random and the pseudo-random. So truly random means the probability will be very less. Means even though the attacker knows the ciphertext, so the probability of knowing the plain text with the given ciphertext, suppose, so P of x by y, so where x is the plain text and y is the ciphertext. So the probability of knowing the plain text for a given ciphertext is same as the probability of the ciphertext. Okay, so this is one one fellow specified specification, that is Shannon. So Shannon theorem specifies this one. So the probability of plain text, I mean getting the plain text for a given ciphertext is equals to the probability of the ciphertext. Means even though the attacker has some given ciphertext, known plain text ciphertext will be there, right? So even though the attacker has some chosen ciphertext or the known ciphertext and all, So is same as the probability of the ciphertext, means attacker has only the ciphertext, because ciphertext will be traveled over the insecure channel or the public channel. So that scenario is called as the truly random representation, whereas pseudo-random representation is nothing but, so this truly random will be the case for one-time pad. So one-time pad specifies the truly randomness, whereas other stream ciphers specifies the pseudo-randomness, because in pseudo-random they will use a key of some specific size and it generates a key stream, whereas in truly random it will use the key of the plain text size. It will not reuse the key again and again, or it is not going to generate the key string. Okay. So how the representation of stream cipher will be? So stream cipher, so this MI is nothing but the plain text, CI is the ciphertext, and KI is the key string. So MI is nothing but ith plain text bit, CI means ith ciphertext bit, KI is the ith key string bit. So it will be the key KI will be generated from this one. So here it is going to use the G is nothing but pseudo-random generation algorithm. Okay, pseudo-random generation algorithm will be there. So this will be generated by applying the key scheduling algorithm. So KASA, key scheduling algorithm, and the pseudo-random generator algorithm. So by using these two, it will be generated. So in order to generate this KI, so it uses this one, state of the cipher. So it uses an array or the matrix, and also it uses a state function. It uses the state function. So we'll see how the representation, the implementation of the is state function and the state array and all. So as I said, so pseudo-random number generators are used to generate the key streams. Okay, so these will generate the random numbers. So it will keep on generating the random numbers, so based on the size of the plain text. So these are not truly random. So just now we discussed what is truly random. So truly random is nothing but a probability of the plain text for a given ciphertext is same as the probability of the ciphertext. So attacker will not able to get the plain text for a given ciphertext. But in pseudo-random, key will be repeated in order to generate the key string. Okay. So we'll see. So in order to generate the key string using the pseudo-random, so it requires the randomness. So these are some characteristics of the pseudo-random generators. So you can go through the characteristics. So simply, so how the pseudo-random generators will be used and how key scheduling will be used in stream ciphers in order to generate the key string. We'll see that. So here in stream ciphers, so a one-time pad. So we just know we have discussed how a one-time pad is going to generate the ciphertext. Okay. So stream cipher is initialized with the short key. So key is stretched into long key string. So though the size of the key is less, so key will be expanded, or key will be used to generate the key string. So by using the pseudo-random algorithm. Okay, so key string is used like one-time pad. So simply key string, whatever the key string is generated, attacker may not be able to identify that is the generated. So instead, because key string, the size of the key string is also same as the size of the plain text. And it performs simply XOR operation for encryption as well as the decryption. For both operations, it performs the XOR operation. Okay, so here the representation, so plain text is there, so it is performing the XOR operation with key. So key and plain text is performed XOR operation and it generates the ciphertext. And a decryption also, it is ciphertext and key will be performed XOR operation in order to generate the instruction. So here this is the pseudo random byte generator algorithm. So this algorithm, so here key will be given, the shared key will be given to this algorithm to generate this key stream. So at the receiver side also the same algorithm will be applied. Okay, so here the properties. So it can be if the size of the key is more, so it all depends on the size of the key shared between the sender and receiver. So if the size of the key is more, so then the number of repetitions will be less. Okay, and here so it is a random, so it generates the key string, the random bits will be generated. So depends on the large enough key. So if the size of the key increased, obviously the randomness will be increased, and it will be like a truly random key itself, and can be used as secure block cipher with the same size key. So mainly this is used for the stream ciphers itself. So compared to the block ciphers, so stream ciphers are faster. The encryption procedure of stream ciphers is faster, whereas in block ciphers, it uses multiple rounds and multiple substitutions, permutations, S boxes will be used, some initial permutation tables will be used, and also different types of key scheduling algorithms, so key expansion or sub-key generation will be used. So by comparing with the block ciphers, stream ciphers are faster and also simpler because it uses only XOR operation with a key stream. So the main, one of the stream ciphers is RC4. RC4 algorithm is one of the stream ciphers. Like DES is a block cipher, RC4 is one of the stream cipher technique. Or it is a stream cipher. RC4 cipher is a stream cipher. It is a symmetric key encryption algorithm. It is a symmetric stream cipher. We can say that it is a symmetric stream cipher, and it was invented by Ron Rivest. Okay, so this fellow invented the RC4 algorithm. Okay, so property cipher owned by the RSA. RSA is one of the public asymmetric key algorithms. We'll discuss later that RSA. And so if we go through the history of this RC4, so it was actually it was developed in 1987 itself, and it uses, so whenever we use the block ciphers, so every block cipher will have the fixed size plaintext block, isn't it? DES uses the 64-bit plaintext block, AES uses the 128 plaintext block. Whereas in stream ciphers will not specify any plaintext block size. Plaintext will not be divided into blocks, so plaintext will be as it is. So whatever the size of the plaintext is there, so we'll not consider the size of the plaintext. Instead, we'll consider the size of the key. In stream ciphers, we'll consider the size of the key. So here the size of the key is variable length. Okay, it uses the variable length key. So it is a byte oriented. So just now I said that bit by bit XOR operation will be performed, or byte by byte. It will take 1 byte at a time and it performs the XOR operation. So it is a byte oriented stream cipher. 1 byte will be converted to ciphertext. So here it uses the variable length key size. So variable means, is there any limit to the key? Yes, there is a limit from 8 bits to 256 bits. Okay, so key size limit is there, but in between, so we can use any size. So normally it uses 64-bit to 128-bit. Okay, it uses maximum and minimum limits will be 8-bit to 256, but Usually it uses the 64-bit to 128-bit key sizes, irrespective of the plain text size. And this RC4 algorithm, RC4 cipher is used in many, the applications will be like, it can be used in secure socket layer. So which is one of the OSI, it will come in one of the OSI layers, and it will be used in the IEEE 802.11 architecture. Okay, networks. And so coming to the block diagram of RC4. So plain text will be there. It will be XORed with the key stream, and this key stream will be coming from the RC4. So where this RC4 uses two algorithms: key scheduling algorithm and the pseudo random generation algorithm. Okay, so these two will be used. Internally, it uses these two things. So this is the architecture, the block diagram. Yes, so it uses these two algorithms. So it consists of two parts: key scheduling and the pseudo random generation algorithm. So what is the use of this key scheduling algorithm is it generates one state array. So it uses one state array. We'll see the state array. So generally state array will be represented with some S. So where the size of this state array is 256. Okay, so 256 bytes. So from S0 to S of 255. So it will assign the values like S0 with 0 and S of 255 with 255. So it will have some state array. And then it generates the state array. Okay. So initially it will have the state array. And by using that state array, so this pseudo random generation algorithm generates the key stream. It generates the key stream and performs the XOR operation. At the end, it performs the XOR operation. So if you observe the key scheduling algorithm, how it is going to apply, how it is going to generate the state array. So key scheduling algorithm generates the state array, isn't it? So it generates the state array. So how it is going to generate the state array is, so it uses a secret key to initialize the permutation, initialize and permutation of state vector. Yes. So initially it takes one state vector or state array. Yes. Okay. So it will take a state array. Yes. So here it uses the secret key. So initially sender and receiver will have the secret key. So whatever the secret key is there, it uses that secret key. And it uses two pointers, loop variables like I and j. So loop will be repeated a number of times. That is 256 times. Loop will be repeated for 256 times. So what it is going to do is for I, so simply what, so the size is 256. So S of 0 will be assigned with 0, S of 1 will be assigned with 1, and so on. So S of 255 will be assigned with the 255. So if you observe the statement, S of I will be assigned with the I. And it uses one temporary array. Okay, so T is the temporary array. So where the value of the temporary array is depends on the key. Okay, so the key shared between the sender and the receiver. And it uses another loop variable j. So where j value will be calculated like this. So the state array and the temporary array, and so temporary array values will be like, simply it is going to take the size of the temporary array will be temporary array values will be generated using the key. Means simply what it is going to do is, suppose state array is having the values from 0 to 255, and the temporary array, so values will be depends on the key. So key, suppose a key size is only 4 bytes, like 1, 2, 3, 4 is the key. Then it repeats the values 1, 2, 3, 4. It repeats until it gets the size. It is equals to the size of the state array. So state array is 256. So temporary array, the size of the temporary array is also same as the state array. Okay. So temporary array size is also same as the state array. And then, so whatever the, so once it takes the state array and then it will perform the, so it takes the state array value and the temporary array value, it will add these two values and it will add that to the jth value, and it will, the modified value, updated value will be saved in the j. Now it will swap the position of state array bit with the position of the state array, the same. So state array will have the 256 bits, right? So among the 256, so the positions, it will swap the position of the bits in the corresponding, with the corresponding index specified by I and j. So that is the pseudocode which will be used for the key scheduling algorithm. Okay, and it uses another algorithm, that is pseudo-random generator algorithm. So pseudo-random generator algorithm is used to generate the key stream again. So in order to generate the key stream, so it uses this code. So here, so after swapping, swapping is performed in the key scheduling algorithm, right? So what it is going to do is, it is going to generate the key stream one by one. So key stream will be generated. So how the key stream will be generated is using this one. So it takes the index, the position of I and j. So whatever the bit is there in this corresponding position, it will take that bit byte. So it is a byte oriented algorithm, right? It takes that particular byte and then it performs the mod with 256, and the corresponding value will be taken into this particular key stream. Okay, value will be considered to that particular key stream. And then, so once the key stream is generated, ciphertext will be, in order to generate the ciphertext, it's the XOR operation with the plain text. So where MI is the plain text bit, so performs XOR with the corresponding key stream value. Okay, so at the receiver side, simply in order to get the plain text, so it uses MI is equals to CI XOR operation with the same key stream. So same procedure will be used. Key scheduling algorithm as well as the pseudo-random generation. So how the bits will be performed? Generally, so generally in stream ciphers, so here how the key stream will be generated is, suppose if the key length is some 4 bits. So what it is going to do is, it will take a 4 bits, it will specify the 4 bits like 10, 111 is a key. So what it is going to do is, simply for truly random thing, it uses some techniques, key scheduling algorithms, it uses some techniques in stream ciphers. Like what it is going to do is, it will take the bits and it performs the XOR operation with some bits in the given stream. Okay, it performs the XOR operation, and then it performs the shift operation. Okay, it performs the right shift operation. So here one will be, so it performs the shift operation, and then so it will get the values like this, and in place of this, so in place of the first bit, what it is going to do is, simply it performs the XOR operation with the first and last bits. So it specifies some architecture. Initially it specifies some architecture. So it will get some XOR operation, some bit by performing the XOR with the first and last bits. So where it is going to specify the some notation, mathematical notation. And here, so 1 XOR with 1 will get what is 0. So that 0 will be replaced over here. And whatever the bit is, so here 1 will be there. So this 1 will be used as the key stream bit, that is 1. Again, in the second round, so it will perform the second round. In that second round, again it performs the shift operation, and the first and the last bit will be performed, XOR operation will be performed. So that result will be stored in the first position. So like that. So like that. So key scheduling algorithms will be there. So in RC4, so here this is the procedure. So So in RC4 algorithm, it uses it is going to change the position of the bits by taking the variables I and j, and by swapping the bits. By simply the state array will be added with the temporary array along with the position of the j. So j value will be added. So that will be assigned that s of I will be swapped with the s of j. So this is the procedure. So swapping will be done. So in order to get the position of j, it is going to perform this operation. J is equals to j plus s of I and all. So this is the procedure of the RC4 algorithm. So how this temporary array, how this key array will be performed, will get the values. So this is the entire representation where the state array is from 0 to 255, and if you observe the key size, key length is very less compared to the state array, but it is able to generate the temporary array. So temporary array, if you observe, the size of the temporary is same of the size of the state array, and once it is going to generate the temporary array, then it is going to apply this operation j is equals to j plus s of I plus t of I, so that j value will be modified. Then whatever the j value is there, so it simply swaps the I value with the j value. S of I and s of j will be swapped. So that entire thing is called as a initial permutation. So swapping will be done. So once this swapping is done, so in order to generate the key, so it is going to use some j is equals to j plus s of I. So j value will be added. The generated j value will be added to the s of I bit, whatever the value is there in s of I position, and then that will be considered as a key stream byte. So that will be XORed with the plain text byte. So that is the procedure. So if you observe the overall operation, so simply state and key initialization. So key, so for a given key, so this is nothing but the temporary. So temporary key generated based on the key, and so it is going to perform the substitutions or permutations will be done. Simply it is in the swap operation and all, so that the permutations will be done, and then it is going to, whatever the generated value is there, it is performing the XOR operation. So again, it is performing the XOR operation for this byte by byte. So for the first byte, it is performing the XOR operation. Again, so for the second byte, it is performing the XOR operation. So whatever is given, I mean the entire, for a given plain text, entire ciphertext will be generated. Okay, so coming to the decryption of RC4, simply XOR operation with the ciphertext. So ciphertext and the key string will be performed XOR operation in order to get the plain text. Use the same secret key during the encryption phase. Generate the key stream by running the KSA. So again, at the decryption side also, it asks to use the two algorithms, key stream algorithm, key scheduling algorithm, and the pseudo-random generation algorithm. Performs the XOR operation. So this XOR operation is the main operation for the final operation for generating the ciphertext. So the logic is A means plain text performs XOR operation with the key. Again, XOR operation will, so performing the XOR operation with the key will become the 0, like will be cancelled, right? So this is the procedure of the RC4. Any doubts? Hello, respond. Okay, I'll give one poll question, all of you answer. So as per the continuous assessment, I will consider all these poll question answers. Okay, and today I will create assignment. Today, yes, if possible, tomorrow morning, I will create assignment for module 2. All of you upload that by, you first do the assignment and upload by Monday. Okay. So assignment will be like, you have to give the comparison between the DES, triple DES and AES in terms of the size of the plain text, the size of the key and the size of the round key and the number of rounds of every algorithm and the person who developed the algorithm and which year and the possible attacks on that particular algorithm. So which type of attacks can be possible on that particular algorithm. So you have to compare all these things between DES, AES and triple DES. So that is the first question. And the second question is, you have to differentiate this linear cryptanalysis with the differential cryptanalysis. So these two, the assignment questions. Okay. Okay, I will give the whole question. So I'll give the poll question. All of you answer and leave. If you have any doubts, you can ask. Thank you. Yes, I'm going to end the poll now. Answer the question and leave the session. So answer is true. Pseudo random generator. RC4 uses the pseudo random generator. Pardon?